Welcome back into the Sports Source. I wanted to give a quick shout out to another one of our new sponsors. You've seen it for about the past month, Allied Toyota Lift. Russ Sharp and his crew over there, they've been with us for about a month, but they've been helping East Tennessee businesses for several decades. Allied Toyota Lift, if you're a business that uses lifts, sweepers, scrubbers of any kind, scissor lifts, forklifts, give them a call. They're great people. And I'm not just saying that because they have a relation to Jimmy Himes down there. I'm not saying that because it's a brother-in-law or anything.
No, you shouldn't. No,
I will say better things about Russ than I will you. All right, I will start with you. I will start with you, Jimmy. The Golden Nugget this week, as you know, out in Las Vegas, because in an attempt to get some publicity, they put their lines out in front of everybody else. And as always, these lines are basically telling you what they think fans are going to see in terms of how these teams look. But let's put some of these up on screen. Here we go. Tennessee, 3-point favorite over Oklahoma. Tennessee, a 2.5 favorite over Florida at Florida, who you hadn't beaten in a decade. Tennessee, 1-point favorite over Arkansas. A pick'em over Georgia. 10-point dog against Alabama. 2.5-point dog against Missouri, who you haven't beaten yet. And a 17-point favorite over Vanderbilt. I'm surprised the Kentucky game wasn't listed on there.
They're not a 17-point underdog.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that is 17-point favorite. Whoops. Yeah. Sorry. Got that wrong. Thank you for pointing that out. So basically, you got to pick them against Georgia. You're a dog against Alabama and Missouri, not Vanderbilt. You're favored by 17. Jimmy, your take on that. Does that look about right to you?
No. No, the one that sticks out to me is Florida. Basically, you're saying if that game were in Knoxville, Tennessee would be a 5.5-point favorite. Isn't that right, Chuck?
That's right, Jimmy.
The 3-point deal. Yeah. So I, resident expert, that one sticks out to me. And Oklahoma a little bit, too. I would look at that as more as a pick-em. I think Oklahoma's pretty good, and a lot of the preseason polls have them ranked out of Tennessee.
And you could make a case for taking the right side of the screen in every game. You know, that if you had to take the left side of Tennessee or the right, I mean, I would look –
with the exception of Vanderbilt, which I screwed up. But yeah.
So and it's that, and the Florida one, John, is the one that really jumped out at me. That you know, 10 years in a row you haven't beaten them. You're really struggling to swamp, it seems like. But yet you're a 2.5-point favorite in the opening line.
Yeah, Mike and Bob, your thoughts on what you saw? Anything stand out?
I'm gonna go with the Oklahoma one. Actually stands out more to me than the Florida one, even though you've not won in a decade, even though it's down in Florida, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think Florida's talent's really in a down ebb. I think Tennessee's favored over Oklahoma. I know they're just trying to even up the bets and so forth and so on. But people are assuming because Oklahoma kind of tailed off at the end of last season that that's going to carry over into this season. Just like if you're beat Iowa in a bowl game, hey, we're great for next year. Yeah. So I actually think the Oklahoma game stands out a little bit more to me than the Florida game.
Well, me too. If you go by that, they think Arkansas is a better team than Oklahoma. That surprised me a little bit, just based on that point spread.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good one. And the Georgia being a pick'em. You know, Tennessee hasn't beaten Georgia that regularly. They've played them tough, but they haven't beaten them. So making that game a pick'em, I think, is But if you're a Tennessee fan, you got to feel good about all that.
Yeah, but nobody here is changing. I think most of us see 7 or 8 wins as. 7.5, I think, is the sports. I'm making that the official sports source over/under 7.5. Nobody here is going to look at this and then run out and say, no, 10-2.
No,
right?
Does not change my mind.
Not from what I've seen on the message boards. I've seen a couple 10-2s after that. All right, odds on winning the Southeastern Conference. We have a graphic for that. CG Technology. This is an offshore book. Here's the way they listed Alabama 5-2. Auburn a 15-4. Chuck, I have never.
I've
you talk
never
about splitting
that.
hairs. I've never seen a 15-4 odd.
I mean, why not just make it 7-2? I mean, I don't understand the 15-4 there.
Georgia 5-1. LSU, Ole Miss, and Tennessee all 8-1, ahead of Arkansas. Then Missouri 12-1, who never is going to get any respect. Mississippi State 12-1. Texas A&M 15-1. Florida 18-1. South Carolina 25-1. Kentucky 75. Vandy, bet you $100 or. Bet you $1 you'll win $100 if they win the SEC title.
I bet you lose too.
Anything stand out there? Do you think Tennessee's? Do you think they fit with LSU and Ole Miss as having just as good a shot at winning the SEC?
I actually think Tennessee is getting a little bit too much premature love. That you've jumped up there with Ole Miss, who was a good team, LSU, who historically for the past decades been better than you. It seems like Tennessee may be getting a little bit too much love a little bit too quick. And the fact that Missouri's behind you, I mean, come on. At some point in time, just go ahead and give Missouri
the best value right there, John. If I was in Vegas, I would be all over Missouri and A&M. just as to what I see as the best value based on those
And
odds.
Tennessee gets a little bit of a boost because they're playing in the East.
That's it.
Yeah.
See, what I was going to say that when I first saw that, I thought the only reason Tennessee is 8-1 with LSU and Ole Miss is the West is tougher. So it's tougher to win the West than it is the East. Well, if you win the East, at least you got a chance.
Yeah, look
so
at the
I think that
bottom.
was a part
Yeah.
of
And
it.
It's
Your
also
bottom
one-
four
yeah.
teams are all in the East.
Yeah, what would Arkansas be if they're, what, 10
We're
to
in the-
1?
yeah,
What would they have been
they're
if,
10
in
to
the
1.
East?
Right.
I'm a
Yeah.
little surprised they're not lumped in at 8-1 with Ole Miss and LSU.
I guess it's just because of how tough they view the West.
They play a tougher schedule,
Yeah.
I guess.
They also beat the dog at LSU and Ole Miss at the end of last season too.
Yeah, if we're going by, as Bob said, if you're going by what happened at the end, if they remember what you do in November, Arkansas is a team that's
Yeah.
on the rise.
But we should point out these are for entertainment purposes only.
Much like Chuck himself. Okay, when we come back, most Tennessee quarterbacks of late haven't left Knoxville with full-throated popularity. Will Josh Dobbs break that streak? Come on back on the Sports Source.